Hi, I'm Claire from Inspiratrix Yoga. This class is all about connecting to your back body. Often we'll be connecting to the back of the torso, so like the back of the shoulders, back of the ribs, lower back, back of the hips. But potentially you could be connecting to the whole chain of the back body from, really from your forehead across the back of your head, down the back of your neck, down the back of your torso, back of your legs, all the way down to the soles of your feet. So that's the intention for this class. Props wise, a yoga block would be really helpful for this practice, and perhaps also a blanket. Enjoy the class. Inhale and spread your breath across the upper back ribs and the shoulder blades. Exhale, softening that area. Inhale and spread your breath across your mid-back. Letting that area expand into the floor. Exhaling and softening that area. Inhale and send your breath to the back of your hips and your lower back. Exhaling and relaxing that area. Then feel for spreading each inhale through those three areas. So inhale, connecting to your upper back, mid-back, lower back. Exhaling, relaxing the lower back, mid-back, upper back. Now come into a windscreen wiper twist. Stretch your arms out to the sides and then slowly track your knees from one side to the other. Continue to connect your breath with your back body, particularly the back of the hips, back of the ribs, back of the shoulders. Being aware of how the back of your torso is shifting and moving on the floor as you do this simple twist. finish off with that. And then roll onto one side. From your side, sit up. Let's do Kaplabasi, which is quite a dynamic breath practice. Kaplabasi in either knee pile or half knee pile. So let's do either knee pile with your right leg straight, left leg crossed over the top, or if you want to bend the other leg around to the side, you can, if that feels comfortable. And then Kaplabasi is this breath practice where we're doing lots of short, sharp exhales with mini inhales in between. Let's try and do 100 on this side. So inhale about halfway to get started, and then keep going. Have your shoulders relaxed. This is all about the belly muscles working. Everything else is quite quiet. Make sure you're counting, otherwise 100 is going to take a long time. Checking that your belly is going in on the exhales, and then on your mini inhales, it comes out. Have you got to 100 yet? When you get to 100, take some slow, deep breaths. Connecting again with your back body. Noticing the effects of that pranayama. Okay, let's switch the legs around, and we'll do a round on the other side. So now have your right leg crossed over the top, either in knee pile or half knee pile, in which case you'd have the bottom leg straight. Okay. Again, we'll do 100 rounds of Kaplabasi. So keep going until you get to 100 and then return to some slow, deep yoga breaths. When you're at 100, connecting to your slow, deep, soothing breath again. Noticing what space that took you into. Coming back to that still and regulating aspect of your breath. Let's move into some side bends now in shoelace or half or shoelace or modified shoelace. Let me give you 3 options for the legs. One option is shoelace with your left foot on top of right knee. Both feet are flexed. Or modified shoelace, you'd place a block in front of that right knee. And then put the foot onto a block. Or you could work in cross-legged. Either of those is fine. Shuffle your feet to the sides a little bit so that they're lined up with the knees. Can you line up your feet with your knees? Yeah. And then flex both feet. Yeah. So the legs are active here. Right, side bend. Let's go this way. Place your right hand on the floor about a foot out from your hip. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, easing into a side bend. Connect your breath to the back of your ribs, back of your lower back. And notice how one side is expanding and one side is contracting. Feeling all the things in your back body. Like we look forward, so we're very aware of the front. It's good to connect to the things that are below the surface. The things that are in the back of our awareness, back of our consciousness. And whatever mysterious things are going on in one's back body. Neck release, bring this left hand out to the side. Hand stays a little off the floor. Focusing on relaxing your neck now, releasing your neck. Still keeping an awareness of your back body. It's like you can't see it with your eyes, so just noticing your back body with your feeling sense. Final thing we'll do is do a bit of a twisting shoelace. Either take both hands either side of your right knee and foot, or take both hands across the right thigh. So coming into a bit of a forward bend along with a twist here. Inhale, lift your rib cage up a fraction so it's not catching on your hips. Exhale, twist around a little bit, lean forwards and then come down. Being with the mysteries of your back body. Bringing the wind of your breath to your back body. Inhale and sit up. Bring your spine back to straight. Exhale, change your legs over now. So you're either coming into shoelace with the foot on the knee, with your right foot on top this time, or modified shoelace, placing a block in front, putting the foot on a block, or coming into a regular cross-legged position as well. That's fine. But whichever one of these you're doing, I want you to feel for lining up your feet with your knees. So you might need to take your feet sort of a bit further out to the sides. Yeah, great. Inhale and flex both your feet. Exhale, plant your left hand down on the floor to start with a side bend. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, soften your shoulders. Explore your back body with your breath. Feeling into whatever is there as part of you, but maybe isn't front of mind, isn't front of awareness. And then come into neck release. So adjusting your right arm so it's lower down to the side. Not collapsing too much here. Keep a little bit of lift in the ribs. Left is relaxing towards your left shoulder. Then come into twisting shoelace. So legs are in the same position, but bring your hands either side of your left knee, or both hands could cross over the left thigh, depending on what feels like it works best in your body. Inhale, lift the rib cage up and forwards. Exhale, lean forwards, relaxing your head forwards. Finding your breath connection with your lower back, the back of your ribs, back of your shoulders. Releasing tightness and tension if that's what you find. Just bringing space and awareness and that light movement that comes with the breath. Feeling your breath in your back body. And then sit yourself back up. Unwind your legs. Give them a shake out. Actually, and roll your legs in and out a couple of times. Just feeling this movement comes from the hip sockets. It's a little bit in the knees and ankles, but quite a lot in the hips. Good. All right, let's work with some on the back abdominals now. I want to start with abs with a roll. Do you all have a block? You've all got blocks, haven't you? Okay, because we'll do bridge. After we've done a couple of rounds of abs, we'll do bridge with the hips elevated on a block. So that's great. All right, so lying on your back. We'll start with abs with a roll, just simple abs with a roll. Block in between the thighs. I want to build up into this in stages so that we can start at a lower intensity to be really connected into your back body as you go into these and go into this movement. So just start with your hands on your belly, block between your thighs, feet on the floor. Inhale and expand your breath across your back body. When you're full of air, squeeze your block and tilt your tailbone up like a couple of millimeters. Exhale, gather your belly in. Notice your back body as you do that. Inhale, release all of that. Send the breath to your back body. When you're full of air, pause, squeeze the block, tilt your tailbone up just a tiny bit. Exhale, gather your belly in. Do 2 more rounds like that, really slowly. Being aware of your back. The effects of your breath and these movements on your back. Okay, let's do this with the hands clasped behind the head now, feet still on the floor. Inhale all the way down to your hips. Also spreading your breath into the back of your ribs, lower back. Pause, squeeze the block, tilt your tailbone up. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. Squeeze the prop, pull the belly down. Inhale, slowly return your head and shoulders to the floor. Notice that in your back as you come down. Pause, squeeze prop, curl tailbone up just a tiny bit. Exhale, slowly lift head and shoulders up. Notice the back of your torso as you do that. Gather your belly in. Inhale, slowly track your head and shoulders down to the floor. Pause, squeeze the prop, curl tailbone up. Exhale, slowly lifting up. Lift your shoulder blades up if you can. Do 1 more round like that. Okay, let's do this with the feet up off the floor now. So you've still got blocks between your thighs. If this feels straining to your back today, keep working with the feet down on the floor. That's totally fine as well. You just keep the legs in this position or with the feet on the floor. All right. Hands are still clasped behind the head. Inhale, sending your breath to your back body. Pause, squeeze the prop, tilt the tailbone up a tiny bit. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. Peel the head and shoulders up. Gather your belly in. Inhale, slowly track your head and shoulders down to the floor, being aware of your back body as you do this. Pause, squeeze the prop, tilt tailbone up. Exhale, lifting head and shoulders up off the floor. Squeeze the prop, gather the belly in. Inhale, slowly tracking the head and shoulders down to the floor. Pause, squeeze the prop, curl tailbone up. Exhale, lifting head and shoulders, gathering the belly in. Do 1 more round. And after that, bring your head to the floor, bend your knees, hold onto your prop, take your feet down to the floor. Have a wriggle of your hips on the floor. Next, we'll do star spiral pulse. You don't need the block for this. We'll do the legs first, and then you can add in the arms part if you want to. Let's do a couple of rounds just with the legs though. So let's start with your head and shoulders on the floor. Being aware of your back body being supported by the floor. And then lift up both feet with your knees bent. Great. Let's do this in 1 breath round. Inhale into your back body. Pause, press the top of your sacrum down. Exhale, straighten your left leg up in the air. Internally rotate your left leg and then pulse your heel up 3 times. Inhale into your back body, bend your left knee. Pause, press the top of your sacrum down. Exhale, straighten your right leg straight up in the air. internally rotate it, pulse your heel up 3 times. If your legs feel tight today, you could have a bit of a bend in the knee, but have your ankle over the hip. Inhale, bend your knee. Pause, top of sacrum presses down. Exhale, left leg straightens. Foot is flexed, internally rotate and pulse. Inhale, bend the leg. Expand your back body against the mat. Pause, press top of sacrum down. Exhale, right leg straightens. Foot flexes, internally rotate and pulse the heel. Inhale, bend your knee to the middle. If you want to add the head part in, exhale and clasp your hands together behind your head. If you want to continue without the head movements, continue as you were with the head and shoulders on the floor. I'm going to cue as if you're doing the head though, just ignore me if you don't want to do that. All right, inhale, head and shoulders lift up off the floor. Pause, press the top of the sacrum down. Exhale, point both elbows towards the left knee, take the right leg straight up in the air. Internally rotate it and then pulse your heel 3 times. There's a lot happening on the exhale cue. Inhale, bend your knee, head and shoulders to the middle. Press the top of the sacrum down. Exhale, elbows right, left leg straight, internally rotate, pulse. Inhale, bend your knee, head and shoulders to the middle. Top of sacrum presses down. Exhale, elbows left, right leg up, internal rotation, pulsing. Inhale, knee bends, head and shoulders to the middle. Press the top of your sacrum down. Exhale, elbows to the right, left leg stretches up in the air, internally rotate and then pulse your heel. Do 2 more rounds on your own. There's 2 more on either side. Noticing your back body. Once you've done those 2 rounds, bring your head to the floor and your feet to the floor. Just resting with your knees bent, noticing your awareness in the parts of you in contact with the floor. Bridge over a block. So take your yoga block, lift your hips up into bridge, and then set your block like the highest way round that you feel comfortable to have your block. You might be okay to have it like the tall way, maybe it's the medium way, or maybe it's the slightly flatter way. It's up to you. But kind of having the hips as high as feels okay for you. Have your block positioned comfortably underneath the back of your hips. And don't let your legs go dead. Ground your feet down into the floor. Actively pressing your feet into the floor. Inhale and move your chest towards your face a little more. Exhale, connect to your lower butt muscles. Very slightly tilt your tailbone up. Maintaining a sense of activity here, even though you have the support of the block. And keeping some awareness in your back body, the back of your torso, maybe back of your legs as well.
We'll do one leg up here. Bring your right foot into the middle just a little bit, keeping it active. Inhale, take your left knee towards your chest. Exhale, reach your left leg up in the air. This time, let's do this with Barbie feet. So imagine your left foot is pressing down on a clutch pedal, if you're in the UK. So the ball of your foot is a little higher up, reaching towards the ceiling. And also spread open your toes. If your legs feel a bit tight, you could have a bit of a bend in the knee. But again, have your ankle over your hip. Stay grounded down through the right foot as well. Then bend your left leg. Bring the outside edge of your left ankle over the right thigh. Doing like a figure 4 stretch with the legs now. So the right leg staying where it is. It's just the left leg moving. Outside edge of left ankle resting on right thigh. Keep your left foot active as well. Flex the left foot. Now, notice the back of your hips. Feel for having the back of your hips even on your block. Not pushing down overly on your left side. Okay, unhook your left foot, bring that down to the floor. Have it in the middle somewhat. Now bring your right knee in towards your chest and reach your right leg up in the air. Press up with the ball of your right foot. This time you're pressing on the accelerator pedal. Spread your toes out. Making your right leg really long. Still grounding down through your left foot as well. Figure 4 stretch. Bend your right leg. Take the outside edge of your right ankle and rest it on your left thigh. Feel for staying even through both sides of your hips. Don't let the right hip drop down. And keep reaching your rib cage towards your head. Making space for your internal organs. But still keeping an awareness of your back body. Uncross your right leg. Bring the foot to the floor. Even out your feet on the mat. And then move your prop, but then come down super slowly. So you're aware of different parts of your back, landing bit by bit on the floor. So you're coming down millimeter by millimeter. And then once you've landed, relax in your hips, your back, your legs. Noticing your sense of your back body resting on the floor. Okay, roll onto one side. Come onto your hands and knees. To do some pelvic tilts, and then we'll move into downward facing dog after that. So from your hands and knees, just getting this tilting movement at your pelvis. Inhale, relax your lower belly down. Tailbone tilts up. Exhale, lower belly gathers in and up, tailbone tilts down. You could also do this with the forearms on the floor if that feels better to your wrists right now. So inhale, tailbone tilts up, lower belly drops down. Exhale, lower belly gathers in and up, tailbone tilts down. Continuing that at your own pace. And then keep that strong sense of the tilt in your hips, but allow that movement to continue along the spine. Coming into more of a cat-cow. Then come back to a neutral spine, tuck your toes under, and come up into a downward facing dog, or if your forearms are on the floor, into dolphin. Shift your hips side to side in downward facing dog, and play with alternately stretching the back of each leg. And then have both legs still, either with your knees bent or your legs straight. And come back to that sense of the back of your body, particularly like the back of the ribs, lower back of the hips. Or if you're having a really advanced day, tracking like everything like from the soles of your feet up the backs of the legs, across the back of the hips, back of your torso, back of your neck, back of your skull. Just feeling that in downward facing dog. Then walk your feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet. Come into a forward bend. Walk your hands up your legs. And come up to standing. Come and stand at one of the short ends of your mat to do some sun salutations. Start with your hands in prayer position. If you need any extra padding for your knees, have a blanket or something similar nearby. Inhale, reach your arms forwards. Exhale, come into forward bend. Lunge, inhale, left leg back, left knee on the floor. Arms up in the air. Let's stay here for a couple of long breaths. Dropping the hips forwards. Keeping that awareness of your back body as you move through these suns. Okay, relax your arms down. Step your right foot back into plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto the floor. Inhale into cobra. Exhale into downward facing dog. Lunge, inhale, left foot forwards. Right knee comes down to the mat. Arms reach forwards. Exhale, bring your hips forward a little to get that opening on the front of your right thigh. Okay, bring your arms down. Step your right foot forward into a forward bend. Being really aware of your back as you inhale, slowly uncurl up to standing. Tracking the arms up last. Exhale, hands into prayer position. Inhale, arms come forwards. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale and step your right leg back for nomad's pose. So with this one, right knee is on the floor. Put something padded underneath it if you need to. Left leg comes forward a little bit and straightens out. And then you hinge forward from your hips, taking your hands onto the leg or perhaps onto the floor, or if you've got a block. This works really well, taking the hands on the block. If you're in the lunge version here, one thing you can do is point and flex the toes. Okay, great. Let's come out of this into plank. So make your way into plank. Taking a huge breath in. Then when you exhale, lower down to the floor. Inhale into a cobra. Exhale into a downward facing dog. Nomad's pose on the other side. Step your right foot forward, left knee down on the floor. Lift your torso up and then set up with the right leg straight. So you probably need to step the right foot a little bit further forwards. And then hinge forwards from your hips, bringing your hands onto the leg or onto the floor. Keeping your hips level here. Yeah. Perhaps finding that sense of connection between your breath and your back body. Inhale, lift your torso up. Exhale and step forwards into a forward bend. Inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms forwards. Exhale, hands into prayer position. Inhale, arms forwards and up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, left leg back for twisting lunge. Bring your left knee to the floor. Lift your torso up and then hook your left elbow over your right thigh. Coming into twisting lunge. If your knee didn't like this for some reason, you could also do this with the back knee up. That's also an option with this one. Sending your breath to the back of your ribs. Sending your breath to the back of your ribs and your lower back here. Unhook your elbow, bring your hands to the floor. Inhale and step into plank. Exhale, slowly lower down to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and take your left foot forward for twisting lunge. Bring your right knee down to the floor and then hook your right elbow. Hook your right elbow over the left thigh. Again, optionally, you could take your back knee up if that feels like more fun right now. Exploring your breath in your back body, feeling the back of your ribs, lengthening the crown of your head away from your hips. And then unhook your elbow, step forwards into a forward bend. Inhale very slowly as you uncurl up to standing. Exhale, standing in mountain pose with your hands in prayer position. Let's do a pigeon now. Let's come into this either from the hands and knees or from downward facing dog. So if you just come back into a forward bend, and then either take yourself down into downward facing dog or onto your hands and knees. And then to come into pigeon, let's do this taking the left knee forwards between the hands, right leg coming back. Or if you'd rather do version of pigeon on the back, like a figure 4 stretch on the back, feel free to do that. Leaning forwards and down into pigeon, perhaps resting your head on the floor, or if you have a convenient block, resting your head on a block. And then to switch to the other side, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and either bring yourself back onto your hands and knees or tuck your right toes under, step back into downward facing dog. And then sweep your and now bring your other knee forward, which will be the right knee, or the other knee to whatever you did on the other side. And then come down into pigeon again, perhaps resting your head on a block or the floor. Then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift yourself up out of pigeon, back onto your hands and knees. And then make your way onto your back for Savasana. Now setting up however you want to be comfortable in Savasana today. Once you've made yourself comfortable, letting your weight drop down into your mat. With every exhale, allowing your back body to relax. Allowing your back body to soften. Feeling for your back body as being part of you.
claiming that awareness and sense of your back body. Through your feeling sense. Resting in Savasana. If you want to stay resting for longer in Shavasana, feel free to extend your time in Shavasana. If you want to get up now, then begin to move slowly, keeping that awareness of your back body. Slowly making your way back up to seated. Taking your own time. Thank you for joining me for practice today and connecting to your back body and the mysteries of your back body. I'd love to practice with you again soon. So if you're watching this on YouTube, click on the subscribe button and then the bell icon, and that will tell you when I publish new videos. If you're an All the Yogas member with me, and if you don't know about that, that's my incredibly good value monthly membership scheme. There are lots more videos like this in the virtual yoga vault for members. So either come join the membership or let me know if you've forgotten your password to get into it. Other things I do retreats, I do yoga teacher trainings, I do workshops, lots of fun stuff like that. Check out the Inspiratrix website, inspiratrix.co.uk.